Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel, or welcome in if you're new around here. Today, we're going to be back out in the woods doing some deer hunting since it's that time of year again. And we have definitely got a very interesting hunt planned with some ammunition that I have never used. I have never seen anybody else use it either, both in person or through video. I've just heard accounts of what people have experienced when using it, so I wanted to put it to the test myself and see what it could actually do in a real life hunting scenario. Now I'm going to keep this intro pretty short, but there are a few little bits of context that I think are important here coming into it. Number one, we're going to be hunting in Virginia. Virginia has an early firearms doe season in a lot of counties throughout the month of September, and that's what we're taking advantage of here. We can get meat in the freezer pretty easily, and it's the perfect time to test different rifles or shotguns or ammunition or anything like that that we may want to try or have never used before or something like that. As for the actual ammunition we're going to be using, I've really wanted to try some of this Salt Creek triple threat stuff on a deer to see how well a TSS pellet can actually perform in a hunting scenario. These particular shells were sent in by Nick, a viewer of the channel, so big thank you to him. But these ones in particular are a 12 gauge 2 3/4 inch 1 ounce load of TSS T shot, moving about 1200 feet per second. These are a little bit of a custom loading of the triple threat shells. The standard is a 3 inch 2 ounce payload, so just keep that in mind with the results that we're going to see today from these. Their standard loading is double what we've got here. And for the shotgun we're going to be running them through, I'm going to be using my Remington 1187 with an improved cylinder choke that's giving us great patterns out to 40 yards, and I've always wanted to hunt deer with this shotgun too. I just never have, so now's the perfect opportunity. But I'm sure this video is gonna probably stir up some controversy by using a TSS T shot for deer hunting, but a lot of people don't know about larger TSS or don't understand what they're capable of. And quick overview, TSS or tungsten is a very dense, very hard metal, so it allows you to use smaller pellets, get more pellets in your shell while having the same energy on target as a larger pellet with greater penetration as well. These 1 ounce load of TSS Ts is producing at the very least 4 buck energy with much greater penetration capability. I've tested them extensively and I know they are well capable of taking a deer. I would never hunt deer with something that wouldn't be ethical to use. So these are absolutely capable of doing the job. Now, a few stipulations coming into it. This is doe season, so we can't shoot bucks. And for me, I'm not going to shoot any fawns, and I'm not going to shoot any does that still have fawns following them around. Right now, they're starting to lose their spots, so they could survive, but just a personal choice of mine. And ideally, I know our combination patterns well enough and performs well enough out to 40 yards, but I want a 20 to 30 yard shot somewhere in there and have it perfectly clear with no branches in the way or brush or anything like that. And I think we should be able to accomplish that. And one more quick note for those curious, yes, these shells are legal here in Virginia to use. That is not the same nationwide, so check your state, your local laws, and even if you're hunting public land, some of those areas have their own rules. But here in Virginia, they are legal to use. But enough talking, let's get you guys right out into day number 1, because we definitely got some interesting hunting ahead of us. All right, y'all, well, first night out here in the stand. It is September 10th right now, about 5:15 in the evening. Gets dark maybe about 7:45, so we got a couple hours here, and that should be perfect to hopefully get us a doe tonight, and we'll see what this TSS stuff can actually do on a deer. I've set us up over the beginnings of a food plot that's just starting to sprout. I'm not here for the food plot because the deer aren't really eating off of it yet, but I'm here because everywhere that you see across here is within our range for sure. The farthest shot we can take is all the way up to that top corner up there, which is 41 yards. We've pattern tested all the way out to 40, and we know we're good. Ideal shots are probably going to be right down in this opening here, and that's 25 yards right to dead center of the field. So in theory, we should be able to make something happen tonight. Like I just mentioned, I'm not here for the food plot. The deer aren't eating off of it yet, and it's just starting to sprout. But this is a known travel corridor for deer coming through here all the time. And if I want to find a lone doe or a group of does, this is the perfect spot to do it. Everything is within range, and we got nice clear shots. So now it's just a waiting game at this point. We've got good weather this evening. It's about 70 degrees and overcast right now, so things should set up nicely. The wind's right in my face. So now, let's wait it out, and we'll see if we might be able to get a crack at a doe here tonight, and get an idea of what this TSS T shot is actually capable of. right, well, that's going to do it for day number 1 here. I was a little bit surprised. I expected to see more deer than that. But we had that one doe come out, and I thought for certain she was all alone, and I was in the process of getting my shotgun up to my shoulder, and then she had a fawn step out. Could I have shot that doe? Yes, but just personal preference of mine. I don't like shooting does that still have fawns following them around, and that fawn still had a few spots left on it. So if I can control it, and if I don't have to take that shot, I'm not going to. So I let those two walk in hopes that there would be another doe coming behind them, and that unfortunately never happened. That's just the way it goes. Sometimes you see them, sometimes you don't. So we'll be back out here, I don't know, maybe tomorrow, because I know this spot can produce way more deer than just those two. So on to tomorrow. Alright, well, we're back out here now, day number 2. I'm right back in the same stand we were the other day. Even though we didn't really see the amount of does we wanted to, I know they're still in this area. Hopefully, we might be able to get something on the ground tonight. Biggest thing is, we may have to give the deer a couple minutes once they step out, just to make sure that they don't have any fawns with them or anything like that. But that's part of the reason why I picked this spot, because we can control a lot of the variables. So we've got, I don't know, almost 3 hours till it gets dark. So let's wait it out, see if we get lucky this evening. Alright, well, that's the end of night number 2. Once again, did not go the way I wanted it to or expected it to. We didn't see a single thing. A few birds, and that was about the extent of it. That really surprises me. I'm not hunting there because the food plot is starting to sprout, but that is a high traffic deer area. I know there's deer in there all the time, so I would have expected we would have seen more movement by now than that. So on to the next one. Within the next day or 2 or so, I believe I'm going to have a chance to come out here again. Maybe we switch to one of the other stands on the other end of the property, because this one's been a little surprising so far. But that's the way it goes. Either way, we move on to the next day, and maybe we can get lucky from here. Alright y'all, well, it's day number 3 now. We've decided to switch up stand locations. I probably could have got it done if I sat another night or 2 in that other stand, I'm sure, but the deer just were surprisingly not doing what I expected them to. So I moved over to the other side of the same property to a stand that's pretty old and reliable. I've taken a number of deer out of it, and several of them that you guys may or may not have seen on this channel. Some hunts we filmed have been shot from this stand as well. There's deer going through here all the time, so we're bound to see something. But here, we might have to be a little more selective with our shots. It's a lot thicker. I don't want to send our pattern through any tree branches. And we have a couple areas where we might not want to take a shot because it's 45 or 50 yards. But still, if we see a deer anywhere close to us here, we're probably going to have a decent chance at it. And here's the view I've got. That big dark tree right in the middle there, that's 30 yards. It's about 45 or so to that very bottom corner of the trail down there. So anything a little bit closer than that very bottom corner is good. We've got all this nice clear trail area. Can't really do much across that little drainage ditch right there because it's still so thick. But we've also got everything over here on our right as well. Nice clear open area, and a lot of deer pass right through there. So we should be able to get something out of here. So now it's just pretty much going to be a waiting game and see what happens. So we'll sit here and wait it out and see if we can get lucky tonight. All right, y'all. Well, we definitely made the right call moving to that stand, I would say. 30 minutes after I got in there, we had that one doe. She was already at 20 yards, but I needed her to move a couple steps to her right to have a nice clear shot or come across to the other side of that little drainage ditch, but she never did, unfortunately. Right there at the end of light, we had a spike buck and another doe come through, and I gotta adjust some settings on this camera for better low light view for you guys. So now we might be on to something. We've got some good deer movement, and they're moving in the exact places I thought they would. So it's all within range of that stand. So I think we should hit it again tomorrow afternoon before we get several days worth of rain and see if we get lucky, because all it's going to take is for one deer to make the right step at the right time and we can capitalize. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. All right, y'all. Well, day number 4 now. We're back out in the same stand we were last night. I think this is probably one of our better bets off this property, judging by how close we were yesterday. A few steps or a little bit different turn angle on them, and we would have had our opportunity. So we'll see what we can get into tonight. As you can see behind me, we've definitely got some windy conditions today. We got a little bit of a cold front, a drop of about, 5 degrees or so coming in with some rain overnight and through tomorrow morning. So who knows, maybe the deer, even in early September, are going to be up and moving. We'll see what happens. I know we should see deer in this stand. It's just a case of if we can get a chance at them or not. So we'll see if we get lucky today, because so far, been a little bit on the slow side until yesterday. So let's wait it out and see what happens. Alright, y'all. Well, that ends day number 4 here. Once again, we're in the right spot. They're just not giving us the opportunity that we want. We saw what? A spike buck and 2 or 3 different little 4 or small 6-pointers. There was a doe and a fawn with one of them, and I'm not going to shoot that doe that has the fawn with her still. And I did see another doe or 2 that I don't even know that I got on camera. They were way up, 100 yards up in the trees. It's just a matter of time, essentially. So far, this has been a very reliable stand. We've seen deer every time we've sat in it, and we've almost had our shot multiple times now. So I guess the hunt continues. Alright, so we're back out here again. I guess it's what, day number 5 now? We're in the same stand as we have been the last couple days. We've been seeing deer, but just not quite the right opportunities. We've been very close on several occasions, so in theory, there's a very high possibility that we get our chance this evening. It rained all day yesterday and most of the day today as well, and the temperatures dropped into the low 60s now, so a little bit different weather conditions, but should be pretty nice for deer movement, I'd imagine. It's gonna get dark a little bit earlier on us this evening. I wish I was able to get in the stand a little bit earlier, but I'd say we've got about 2 hours or so till we lose light, so I don't know. I've had good luck out of this stand with weather like this before, so let's wait it out and see what we get. Oh, yes. All right. That's exactly what we wanted. That TSS T stuff dropped her right where she stood. She's standing at probably 17, 18 yards. Dropped her right there, kicked for a few seconds, and she's dead over there now. Not moving or anything, so. Wow, that played out exactly how we wanted. She was all the way to my like 3, almost 4 o'clock in this stand, so I had to really maneuver, and she was focusing on something over here behind me making noise. We just had some coyotes come through a few minutes earlier, so I'm sure that's what jumped her up, but oh, that is about as perfect as we could have asked for. She took her good old sweet time turning the right angle for us, because I did not really want to take a angled to or angled away shot. She turned broadside, and that TSS dropped the hammer. So, I don't know, call it 20-yard shot maybe. I'd say it's pretty effective. Took us 5 days, but hey, we've got meat in the freezer now, and we saw that TSS is very effective for deer. Oh, that worked out exactly how I wanted it to. Took a few days longer, but can't ask for anything better than that. I'm happy with that, that's for sure. So, I'm gonna slowly pack my stuff up here, give her a couple minutes just to lay there, if there's anything left in her, which she's not moving. She's gone. We're good. But, oh, that was fun. And that was exciting. Let me pack my stuff up, get down out of the stand, and we've still got some daylight to take a good look at her and see how those TSS pellets really worked. All right, well, here she is laying here. You can literally see the stand right up there in the middle of the screen. Perfectly clear shot. And this is actually the exit side, and you can see all those little pellet holes there. We clearly had an exit with probably everything that we hit her with. Not a whole lot of blood, obviously, a few little specks, but I can tell you, I don't think you can hear it, but this whole entire front shoulder here is just demolished. I was aiming for right up tight to the shoulder, and our pattern probably covered most of this entire area. I'll flip her over in a second, but we clearly have a lot of little exit holes, that's for sure. And here's the entrance side. You can see we covered a pattern right there behind the shoulder. It's all through the lungs. You can see actually there's some bubbling right there with the air coming out of her lungs, but we covered everything right there, and she dropped right where she stood. So I would say that TSS is very effective. So I'm going to get to field dressing her, and I'll try and show you guys a little bit of the aftermath, if YouTube lets me, of maybe what the inside of the shoulder cavity looks like or something like that, since I'm going to try and make it as clear as I can how effective this TSS is on real world results right here. So I'm going to get to field dressing her before it gets too dark out here and lose light, but let's open her up and see if we actually caught any pellets or if all of them penetrated through. All right, well, we got her all field dressed, and I may have to blur this or color it out or something like that, but these pellets were very effective. We'll take a quick look at the deer here first. I don't know how well you'll be able to see up in there, but you can see those pellet holes in the rib cage. They go completely through the other side as well, and I can't obviously stick you up in there, but I found 0 pellets in the deer, and both front shoulders are broken and multiple ribs are broken as well. Again, no pellets in the deer whatsoever, so I'm saying we got a complete pass through unless there's something in the meat on the offside shoulder, which I don't feel. Now we'll move over here to our gut pile. I'll definitely have to blur this or something for YouTube, but if you look here at our lungs down here in the bottom corner, you can clearly see all the pellet holes and stuff in both sides, and I'm purposely leaving it in the corner of the frame for a reason, because YouTube doesn't like it, but that is consistent. We didn't hit any other organ in that whole entire deer except for lungs, and we got 1 pellet right through the top of the heart. Everything else was shoulders and lungs. So yes, very much so effective, and I'm liking what I'm seeing here a lot from these TSS pellets. Would they be my everyday load for deer? Probably not, but you can't argue with that kind of a result. Right at, I think it was like 18 or 19 yards that shot was. She dropped where she stood, kicked a few times, and that was it. So needless to say, it got the job done just fine. So now I'm going to clean up a little bit more here. I'm going to take her, throw her in the truck. We'll take her down to the local butcher, since I like using those small local butcher shops and stuff like that. I could do it myself, but especially with something this easy, I'd rather give them the 90 bucks just to have it done in the nice butcher paper and stuff like that. So that's what we're gonna do. I'll pick you guys up when we're on the way to the butcher. All right, well, about, I don't know, 25 minutes later, 30 minutes later, got her all loaded up in the old Chevy here. It's always nice to take care of them while it's still daylight out in the evenings. So now we're good to go. Let's roll on down the road to the butcher, get her all hung up, and in a few days, we'll have a bunch of deer burger and stuff in the freezer. All right, well, we got her all hung up right here behind me. You can see a couple other deer that have been taken, I guess this afternoon. But I'm gonna go ahead and push her all the way down there with the rest of them. And in a few days, I'll get a call saying we got some good meat. So it's always a nice thing to support your local butchers. So now we've got some meat in the freezer for this fall. Alright y'all, well, what did you think about that hunt right there? It got interesting pretty quick. Might have took a few more days than what I thought it would, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. And those TSS Ts are some pretty nasty shells. This is only a 1-ounce load, and Salt Creek's standard triple threat shells are a 2-ounce, so you can imagine that those would be just as effective, if not noticeably more. They absolutely dropped the hammer on that deer, no doubt about it. So now, I've got a point of reference since I've done it myself as to how good they can actually perform, and hopefully it gave you guys a good point of reference as well, because there really isn't a lot of video proof out there when it comes to hunting with larger TSS pellets and what they're actually legitimately capable of. So I'm pretty impressed. I guess now the question is, what else should we hunt with? I definitely wouldn't mind taking a few more deer with these at some point, but we've got more time in early doe season, so we'll see what we can get ourselves into, but definitely can't complain or argue with that type of performance and how that hunt went. Gave us the perfect opportunity, and now we've got meat in the freezer. And I did confirm with the butcher that there were no pellets at all still in the meat of that deer or stuck in any bones or anything like that. Every pellet that entered the deer exited as well. So at 20 yards, complete pass through on ribs, shoulder, and he said we even had 2 that hit the top edge of the spine, and they went completely through as well. So that's some nice performance. But let me know all your thoughts down below. I know it was definitely an exciting hunt for me, especially getting to see what a TSS shell was capable of for big game, but let me know what you think about it as well. And if you've ever hunted with a big TSS pellet like that on deer or hogs or anything, is that about what you've seen out of them as well? Or would you hunt with a shell like that now that you've seen what they're capable of? I know I definitely had fun with it, and I'm happy we got meat in the freezer now. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the hunt. Feel free to let me know what other stuff you might want to see me hunt with, because we're going to be out in the woods quite a bit this fall, so hopefully we can get some more deer on the ground for y'all. But in the meantime, I'm going to get back to all the normal testing and stuff, so keep an eye out because there's plenty more interesting stuff on the way. So I guess I'll see all of y'all in the next one.